really the best thing for social media. You want to be on the channels that are more visual. So Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram. Twitter is, here and gone in a second, so it's not going to do as well for a restaurant. Periscope would be good because you can kind of show the behind the scenes. So if you have a restaurant and you want to show a plating, you can use Periscope to do that. And that's a little bit more engaging. And that way because people are becoming more in tune with what we eat and where it comes from. So if they see the plating, that's an added trust factor. So video can be really good for that too.
Good point. That is really good. What about dentist?
Dentist. So I have a fear of dentists.
Don't we all? What
would make you more comfortable?
Oh, gosh. All the laughing gas in the world. For dentists, because this is the reality with dentists. They are feared, and they shouldn't be. And what they need to show is people smiling, people in relaxing situations, and give enough information to make people comfortable, but not enough to make them queasy. So there's a fine line there. Yeah, there's a fine line there. So if you're showing somebody, you can't show them with their mouth hanging open in the chair laying back. That's going to make people uncomfortable because they pictured themselves in that position. So you want to kind of figure out what would make people more comfortable. So what position can you show as a dentist that would be real life, that the person can engage with and see themselves at, that is more comfortable? So sitting up, talking to the dentist, smiling, both of them smiling, would be a lot more engaging.
Not crying when you're paying the bill on your way out.
No needles, no blood. But yeah, smiling people sell.
With beautiful teeth, yes.
Exactly.
What about an insurance company?
An insurance company. So that's a hard market because it's very saturated. So you have to really build brand loyalty in order to keep your current clients and to bring on new customers. And, one of the best ways to do that is just consistent posting, educating people about your services and what you offer. So what you want to do is you want to cover all of your bases. So one thing that I always tell all of my clients is you can't attract everybody at the same time with the same message. You really have to target your message. So for an insurance company, say it's health insurance and there's a new baby on the way. You want to talk specifically to that new family. What are their needs? How do you communicate to a new family? Because it's going to be very different than retiring seniors. So You have to take that into consideration. And like I said, target your message for each line of business differently. Because if you try to market to everybody, you'll market to nobody.
Right. That's the truth. So what kind of marketing do you do, Dave?
Any type of marketing that help us sell insurance.
Do you do any of those like Instagram or Pinterest and Twitter?
We have a Facebook page. We do post to that occasionally.
And that helps, I'm sure.
Yeah. For insurance, you're a business to consumer and you're also a business to business. So you have to look at multiple channels. So Facebook's going to be great for reaching consumers, but it's not going to be your best bet for business. If you're not on LinkedIn, I suggest you create a LinkedIn business page.
Are you?
And
we are.
Okay, I thought
really,
so.
really active. You want to make sure that you're posting a couple times a week. If you have a blog, publish it on LinkedIn as well. Publish it on Medium. Look for different platforms where you can reuse that content because that'll just expand your market.
You can have Katie doing that.
Definitely. I like that idea.
Should be good at it too.
I agree.
Yeah. So that was really good advice. Yeah.
Thank you.
So what does your normal day look like?
I don't have a normal day. One of the benefits of working for myself is I can be a little bit flexible. I do try to keep, a routine. So I normally start about 7:30. I check up on all of the news articles that land in my inbox, all of my newsletters that I follow, and kind of just catch up on the world around me, the business world, because like I said, it's always changing. I normally make sure that all of my social media is posted or scheduled for the next few days. I try to get that a few days ahead of time. And that way I can react with my audience in real time instead of worrying about posting and reacting. And then I really schedule, I block my time. My time is very precious to me. So I block out my time in about 50-minute increments with 10 minutes of break. So I'll do either project work for a client or I'll do consultation calls, and then a lot of research, a lot of marketing. So it depends on where the need is. Lately, I've been doing a ton of business development and a ton of writing because I'm working on 4 different courses for next year. So that's been taking a lot of my time lately.
Yes, but it's necessary. It's like you have to plant the seeds in order for them to grow. Yes,
exactly. And 2016 for me is it's what I've been working for this last quarter. I didn't do a whole lot of new clients. I didn't take on a whole lot of new business because I'm really planning for a big push with a change in my business for 2016. So.
Are you rebranding?
I have been. So for me, branding has been really difficult up until about a year ago. I was under Royer Services, which is kind of blah, I guess. It's not real descriptive. You don't know what it is. It's not personal. Yes. And I had a hard time wanting to brand my own name because it felt kind of showy. And I'm not a real showy person. And I decided that, you know what, I am marketing myself. I do have staff, but it's me that's out there talking to the clients, and they need to be comfortable with me. And so I decided to change my name to Startup with Nicole at the end of last year. And this year I've just been working to build that brand as a standalone, which has taught me a lot. So I've written a lot this year, and actually we'll be releasing a course next Monday on how to build your personal brand, because that's one of the things that I learned in this whole process was, thankfully, I had that platform where if people Googled me, they could find things, but I realized that wasn't the case for a lot of people trying to find opportunity.
Very good. And, anymore, you see more and more coaches. Like the name of my coaching business is Sky's the Limit Coaching. But who's going to find that? You don't Google Google Deborah St.Hilaire. Mm-hmm. So more and more people are using their name as their brand now than ever before.
Yeah, that's something that I've noticed when I was doing a lot of research into who my competitors were and who was doing really well in these industries. They were all self-branded. Mm-hmm. And that kind of helped me get over that fear of seeming showy and, putting myself out there without an ego as my own brand has been, something that I feel is hard to work around unless you do it the right way. There are a lot of people that are self-branded that come off as showy.
Right.
And like I said, so there is a line there that you need to be aware of so that you can be engaging and relate to people the right way as your own brand, because everything comes down to you, essentially.
That's absolutely correct. Very interesting. Yeah, and very good advice, too. Really good.
Really good.
Do you have a question to ask Becky?
I have a million questions to ask.
You only can pick one.
Oh, okay. Geez. I just wonder if you could give any advice to someone that wanted to get into marketing, what would be your advice to that person?
So marketing is a very, very broad field. Mm-hmm. So the first thing you need to do is really narrow it down. One of the things that's really becoming like the prevalent push in business is having a specific niche. So not just marketing, but what kind of marketing do you want to do? And then you basically need to start creating content. You need to be thought of as a thought leader. You need to brand yourself as the expert in that field in order to find those opportunities. So write in a blog, create an ebook, figure out, take some classes to learn how to do your own graphics, or hire somebody on Fiverr or Upwork to do that for you, and really figure out, and get your own domain with your name. That's really important too. That way you can brand yourself as that expert. So when you go for that opportunity, you have a chance. If I Googled you right now and you were trying to get a marketing job and you didn't have anything, you would be in the reject pile right away. So you want to keep that from happening. Another thing, tell everybody that you know what your goals are, because they can connect you, to those opportunities. If you don't, you don't have to be egotistical, but if you share, hey, I'm looking to get into marketing. Do you know anybody, or can you recommend me to anybody? You'll realize that a lot of people really do want to help, and they'll connect you to people.
Very good advice. How about you, Misty? Do you have any questions?
Well, just to kind of tail skirt on that, what if you are just entering into that field and you had said, if you don't have the credentials or you don't have, the backing for that position, how do you get into that? You had given a few ideas as far as creating the blog and the ebook, but how do you really penetrate that kind of a field without that professional background, marketing field? Correct.
So there are a lot of free courses online, and that's where I always recommend anybody looking to get into anything new for them to start.
Udemy is an excellent place.
I love Udemy. There are a ton of free places. So HubSpot is HubSpot.
Oh,
Yeah.
they are really good.
They're really good, and they have a free inbound marketing course that I recommend everybody who is related to marketing and anything or has their own business take that course, because you will learn all of the processes for doing social media, email marketing, running a blog, doing content, and how to reach your audience just by taking that course. And then from there, you do the steps. You build your website. You write the right content. You figure out who you need to talk to, and you talk directly to them. And one of the things that, and you'll hear me say this a lot if you ever talk to me, off of here, you need to target a specific person. So have one specific person in mind that you can write down all the details about their gender, their name, their age, what they do, what their hobbies are, because that's going to make it easier for you to write your content. And so you build your website, you start writing regularly about what you want to be involved in, what angle of business you want to be involved in. You start social media pages and you start engaging. And one of the best things that I ever learned was don't be afraid to contact people in your industry at the top level, because what you're going to realize is they actually do want to help you. And you can find mentors who have been doing it for 20 years who will give you as much advice as you want for free.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, isn't that funny how that happens? And that's really the case. People that have been doing that job that are getting ready to retire want young, fresh people knowing what's going on in the business. They're happy to talk about it. They don't see you as competition.
No, they're looking for mentorship opportunities. I know I sit on a board for a women in leadership organization, and the ones that are retired or getting ready to retire, they're looking for active mentorship. And that's not just happening here, that's happening everywhere. So you can reach out to whatever company ideally you'd like to work for and find a mentor.
Mm-hmm, very good. I think that's going to keep happening more and more because there's so many baby boomers that are going to be retiring. Mm-hmm. And so many times in a marketing position especially, you don't learn all that in school. Don't learn all of that from a book. You learn it from experience.
Yeah, marketing is a field and sales that are changing so rapidly that by the time you graduate, a lot of it's obsolete. And if I would have taken marketing in college and, got a marketing degree back, it
wouldn't have mattered.
It wouldn't have mattered because everything's digital marketing now and they don't teach that.
Right.
And it's really hard to stay on top of. So
that's absolutely right. Sad, though.
Yeah.
It is sad that it changes so fast. It changes way too fast. Mm-hmm. And even people that graduate with some type of communications degree or computer degrees, look at how fast that technology changes. Yeah. Do you have a question, Dave?
I do not.
Anybody have a question for Nicole?
I do. Yeah, I guess I'm hearing a lot about and reading a lot about women mentoring women. What's the difference between women mentoring women and possibly men versus men? Do men mentor men the same way? What's the gender difference, I guess, is the issue.
So women normally seek out mentoring a lot more than men. I work in a lot of male-dominated industries. I find for me, because I work with a lot of engineers, it's easy for me. The way that I think very analytically meshes with how they think. But like I said, you don't see as many men reaching out for those opportunities, but a lot more companies. So right now we're at a point where we have 4 generations in the workplace all at once. And this is the first time that that's really happened. So there's a big disconnect between some of those generations. And a lot of companies are starting to actively pair different generations with mentors in order to kind of bridge some of those gaps. So you'll see a lot more male-focused mentoring because of that. But like I said, right now, they just don't seem to seek it out. There aren't as many male leadership organizations as female leadership organizations. So that topic really isn't being approached as much.
And maybe it will be. That really interesting stuff. We have a